Who am I? I consider myself a reflection of truth, love, and light that comes in the form of a legal educator, a legal protector, and again, a public speaker. The individuals like yourself, that's my tribe and my vibe. And I call you all the Onorati. Watch this name. Remember this name. This was something that was dropped on my heart. The Onorati. The Onorati are individuals who own what they build or invested in learning how. And we're going to change. We're going to shift paradigms. We don't always have to focus on changing the entire world or everything that's going on. We have to first change what's right in front of our face. And the Onorati, we're going to do that because we're invested in learning how to own what we build, or we already have those steps and we're confident and courageous enough to own what we build. And ownership can mean different things. And I'll get into that in a moment. But what we're going to do today, I'm going to give you all my most engaging platform, an opportunity to go from watching these legal educational videos to learning in real time, because I'm going to go through some of the questions that I captured that was sent to me. Okay, I'm going to move the contracts just a little bit. What's one contract clause that people often overlook but should not? Well, before I answer that, I want to start with this. In most contracts, we're overlooking all clauses. We gotta stop. Gotta stop. We're looking at one clause, and that's that clause that says how much I'm getting paid or have to pay. But we the Onorati. We're owning what we build. We're investing in learning how. So we're going to make sure we know what all these clauses say, because I'm going to give you a legal tip. One of the things we look at when reviewing contracts, it's a domino effect. All the clauses are connected. Something can negate something else. You may have to question one clause based on what another clause has said. I'm going to give you something even bigger, because this one is completely overlooked. Like they said, a recoupment clause. Yes, that's huge. You need to understand that, because a lot of people think I made $1 million. No, you loaned it. You got your loan. You got your loan that you got to pay back with interest. So all that, yeah. So those are all the things that we know, right? But let me tell you about the things that I see that we overlook. Because let me tell you why we overlook it. They're called boilerplate clauses. We just see them in every contract. So we just think, doesn't mean anything. So one of those is the merger or the entire agreement. You see that clause that says that, this contract covers the entire agreement, nothing outside or inside. You seen that? And we just like, oh yeah, it covers the entire agreement. We're good. But this is a very critical provision that parties often overlook to their detriment. What do I know? There are times that individuals were involved in multiple contracts, different things going on. But then they end up entering into another contract that's kind of affiliated with this contract. And by agreeing to that provision, which extinguishes all prior oral and written negotiations, it says that anything before this, even if you didn't have another deal, let's just back all the way up. Say you talked about what this deal is going to look like. This is top of the list I see all the time. We talked about it. We talked about everything. Because you thought you talked about it and then they put a contract, you just went to sign this contract because we talked about it. So now the last thing was for me to get this memorialized and I sign it. Well, if that contract says anything different and it has this provision, this entire agreement, everything you talked about before, or anything that was even written down before, is gone. It doesn't matter. What's in front of you right now in those four walls, that's the only thing that matters. And people say, no, but he said, she said, And look, I even had this written. Look at this text. Well, that entire agreement provision says that any prior written or oral agreement is extinguished. This stands, and you just signed that. So that's one of the most overlooked provisions, is that entire agreement. You see that provision, which is a boilerplate, is going to be in most contracts. You need to be asking yourself, does everything in this contract reflect what we actually talked about or what I'm expecting? Or am I extinguishing any particular rights that I have? Does this confine the rights and obligations in this four corners of this final document that will bar me from anything else? What if I later found out there was an issue of misrepresentation in something else previously that this contract now supersedes? You just waive that. Any claims of fraud or misrepresentation is something else. So you have to be very careful to see what that contract says in relation to conversations you had, things you already written down, or how it takes you out of one contract to another, because it's saying this contract is the final contract. So that, my friends, is the most overlooked one.